Hello there. I just wanted to put down some of my views on the subject of diabolism, which I've talked about before, and I just wanted to have a little sort of recap and reflection, really. Uh, why I feel identifying as a diabolist is a good thing, and and what it means to me, really. I was introduced to the term diabolist and diabolism by Brother Nero, also known as R.J. Womack. Um, and it's a term which immediately felt right to me, you know. Um, a lot of the reasons for using the term diabolism is because it's like a much it's like an older and less conditioned term for for devil worship, literally. So it manages to circumvent some of the associations uh, of Satanism, and some of those associations are good, and some of them are maybe more limiting. But it manages to circumvent the associations of the term Satanism, and for instance, the very strong association in modern times with atheism and a kind of atheist philosophy. Because diabolism, in terms of the way that we talk about it, is a religious, theistic um, practice, really. So that's certainly one thing. Uh, Now, the way that we look at it in general, I would say, and I'm not going to speak for Brother Nero here, or for, you know, Shadow Path Diabolism. I'm just going to speak for myself here. Um, but the way that I sort of see it uh, is that this is a form of spirituality, and it is a religious form of spirituality. And um, it's something that has really come home to me over the years, which is just how important religion and being religious actually is. Um, I am no fan of uncritical modernity, let alone post-modernity, and I do still consider religion to be a very essential part of life in many ways. People do without it, but I don't see people doing without its influence, which they have inherited or picked up and benefited from. So I consider it to be an important thing, you know. Um, I think we are going through some very strange times in our world with a lot of shifts and a lot of reorganizations of things and a lot of things passing out of people's power and control into uh, into the hands of a shifting power structure over which they have very little say. Um, and I think spirituality and religion is very important for people at this time. It's very important for them to actually resist the um, the sort of things that people are swamped by, which don't necessarily actually help them. You know, we see a lot of this pumped out in the media and in, you know, on the internet and social media, a lot of stuff which is just, it manages to coalesce into a false world, um, which manages to sort of like funnel people down unthinking routes. So I think religion is very helpful for people in this, actually. Um, and people are sometimes surprised at that. If you're a diabolist, you would actually be approve of religion, but I do. I respect people who have a religion, even if I don't agree with their religion, because they have at least have done the work to actually have a religion and live by a religion, which I respect. And I think these things um, are important. you know. Now, people will often ask, knowing that, for instance, I'm a devotee of the horn god, and I have been since I was like pretty much 12 years old, you know, knowing that I'm a devotee of the horn god, they will say, well, why are you worshipping the devil? Why are you, why do you worship the devil? Why do you even talk about the devil? You know, isn't this Christian propaganda? And my answer to that is that it is nothing like as simple as that. And in fact, the figure of the devil is a massively important form of the horn god, immensely important in terms of our folk life, and that he is the bridge into our world of a pagan past. I have no doubt about that. And the things that I base all of this on, the things I base this on are personal experience and the experience of people I know, and it's spiritual experience. That's what I base this on. It's not an intellectual or academic exercise. Yeah, it's not a sociological analysis. It's actually based on people's experience, because this is the most important thing. And this is another of the reasons why I think the theistic aspect of things, or you could say the animist aspect of things, the aspect which looks to the spirits as real entities, and to the gods as real entities, and to the demons as real entities. The aspect which looks to this is very, very important. It's an essential part of spirituality, as far as I'm concerned, an essential part of magic. Yeah, because we are very much akin to the world of magic and the occult, though the fact is, I believe it has its roots in a older, an older form of religion, essentially. You know, and there are all sorts of, well, delightful variations on things. You know, where you loose things from different conditions and they take different forms and they evolve and all this sort of stuff. But the important thing is this sincerity of the heart and of direct experience, direct spiritual experience. That's my view of it, essentially. Now, I find in Diabolism something which is not, I don't find quite anywhere else, though it's very akin in places to things like practices like hoodoo and some of the voodoo mysteries. It's very akin to these things. It's also akin in some ways to things like heathenry. But what it's not so akin to is the very modern take on Wicca, for instance. Yeah, there are some similarities to like really old school Wicca. There are some, yeah, as you would expect. I mean, after all, the Sabbath is an immense inspiration of the witchcraft revival, and so you can expect there to be crossovers, you know. But that's about as much as I could say about the comparisons, really. That's about as much as I could say about the comparisons. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.